So now we are discussing about the shape of the earth. And now I hope you understood the shape of the earth. Okay. If somewhat round in shape like this globe, like this globe. Then you might have heard the word astronauts. Who are astronauts? Astronauts are the people those who are going to space and learning about space, giving information about space. And in future, you also try to become astronauts. Okay, learn well, study well. You have to learn science well, and you can go to space. And do you know now some entrance exams are conducted by NASA, and they are helping the children. They are taking the students also to space. And from India, Sunita Williams, there as a famous astronaut, Sunita Williams, and he lived. I think she is the woman who stayed in space station more days. Okay, so there we can stay, and as space tourist also we can go there. So you first you try to get a good job and you try to go to space, all of you. Okay, and all should try to become astronauts in future. Okay, എല്ലാവരും ആസ്ട്രോണട്സ് ആവാനായിട്ട് ശ്രമിക്കുക, സ്പേസിൽ പോവാനായിട്ട് ശ്രമിക്കുക. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ നിന്ന് സുനിത വില്യംസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ലേഡി അവിടെയുണ്ട്, സ്പേസിൽ ആസ്ട്രോണട്ടായിട്ട് പോകുന്നുണ്ട്. സുനിതയാണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ദിവസം സ്പേസ് സ്റ്റേഷനിൽ താമസിച്ച വനിത, വുമൺ. ഓക്കെ, ദെൻ next, movements of the earth. Movements of the earth. There are two types of movements, rotation and revolution. Which are the two types of movements? Rotation and revolution. Okay. Rotation and revolution. REVOLUTION. Rotation and revolution. These are the two types of movements. And first we are learning about rotation of the earth. Rotation of the earth. First we are learning this rotation of the earth. The earth spins like a top on an imaginary line. This line passes through the center of the earth vertically and joins the two poles, North Pole and South Pole. This line is called the axis, and you just imagine the earth spins like a top on an imaginary axis. You just actually this axis is not there. Here you can see, and the axis you can see here we cannot see because actually there is no axis. ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇതുപോലുള്ള ആക്സിസ് ഇല്ല, പക്ഷെ ഇത് മൂവ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇമാജിൻ ചെയ്യുകയാണ് ഇതിങ്ങനെ ഒരു ആക്സിസിലാണ് മൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ദ എർത്ത് മൂവ്സ് ഓൺ ഇറ്റ് ആക്സിസ് ലൈക്ക് ദിസ്, ആൻഡ് ദിസ് ഈസ് കോൾഡ് റൊട്ടേഷൻ. ദിസ് ഈസ് കോൾഡ് റൊട്ടേഷൻ. ആൻഡ് സി നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഈസ് ദിസ് ഇമാജിനറി ലൈൻ divides the earth from the top to bottom, and this top portion is called these two points are called poles. ഈ അറ്റവും ഈ അറ്റം, ഈ രണ്ടറ്റത്തിനാണ് എന്ത് പറയുന്നത്? പോൾ എന്ന് പറയും. പോൾ, POLE, പോൾ, പോൾ, POLE, പോൾ. എർത്ത് vertically and joins the two poles, North Pole and South Pole. So if you just imagine this is our earth and there is an axis, and see this axis divides the earth into two equal halves vertically. If you are drawing a line like this, this is in vertical position, and here you can see a pole, here also you can see a pole, രണ്ടറ്റങ്ങൾ അല്ലേ. And this is North Pole and this is south pole. North pole and south pole. Understood? So all of you listen. Here is the model of earth globe, and like this the earth moves on its own axis. This is the axis. It divides the earth into two vertical halves. One half is here, one half is here, and this is north pole and this is south pole. This is north pole and this is south pole. So this movement of earth, okay, the spinning of earth on its own axis like this movement is called rotation. Okay, the spinning of the earth on its own axis is called rotation. All of you underline it from the textbook and learn it today itself. And the earth completes one rotation in 24 hours. One rotation in 24 hours. Okay, one rotation in 24 hours. എർത്തിന് ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം ഇതുപോലെ റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ എത്ര സമയം വേണം? ഇതിപ്പോൾ മിസ് ഇങ്ങനെ സ്പീഡിൽ കറക്കിയതാ അല്ലേ? പക്ഷേ ഇത് എർത്ത് ഇങ്ങനെ സ്പിൻ ചെയ്ത് വൺ റൊട്ടേഷൻ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ it takes 24 hours. So the spinning of earth on its own axis is called what? Rotation. And it takes 24 hours. Okay, it takes how many hours? 24 hours. So you know this movement causes day and night. The rotation of the earth causes day and night. Okay, the rotation of the earth causes day and night. We have 12 hours day and 12 hours night, 24 hours there, and this earth moves on its own axis called rotation, and it takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. And to show how days and nights are caused, see here you can see how days and nights are caused. Take a globe and a torch. Imagine that the globe is our earth and the torch is the sun. Mark one side of the globe A and the other side B. Take a globe and mark this side A and this side B. And you switch off the light and take a dark place. And you see, place the globe on a table in a dark room. Now throw light from torch on side A of the globe. Half of the globe gets lighted, the other half remains dark. So in the same way, the part of the earth that faces the sun gets sunlight and has day. At the same time, the other part of the earth that does not get sunlight has night. Now slowly spin the globe from the left to right. Okay, left to right. Then the lighted side A of the globe moves away from the light and comes in dark. So you have to take a globe and you have to keep this globe in a dark room, and you have to keep the torch here. Now this part gets light and this part do not get light. Does not get light, and this has day and this has night. Then you slowly move the globe like this. Now this part getting light, and so this is facing towards the sun and getting light. So all of you try to do this experiment and you can show how the day and night causes. So what is rotation? The spinning of the earth on its own axis is called rotation. Okay, so what we learned today? First we learned about planets. There are 8 planets and they are moving around the sun in a fixed path called orbit, and each planet has its own satellite. The moon is the natural satellite of earth, and our earth is round in you learned our earth is somewhat round in shape, and 2 poles are bulged, slightly bulged, not perfect round. And now we learned rotation. What is rotation? The spinning of the earth on its own axis is called rotation. And the imaginary line which divides the earth into 2 halves, vertically divided the earth into 2 halves, and this imaginary line is called axis, and it meets at 2 ends. They are called poles, north pole and south pole. These are the things we learned. If you are reading today itself, this is very easy for you. So today itself, all of you learn this portion, okay? And the points which I told you to mark in between the in taking the class, I told you to mark some points. That points today itself you learn. What are the points? What are satellites? What are planets? And what is orbit? What is axis? And what is rotation? What is the shape of the earth? And all these, if you are reading and learning today itself, this lesson will be very easy for you, okay?